What's up, YouTube? Cadillac coming at you. Today I'm going to be doing a video on the Cadillac. I got a 2013 Cadillac ATS. Finally got time to get around to it. This issue's been going on for about 2 years or so. My in-dash screen is cracked, as you can see. I stay in Texas, so I figured it was from the heat. I'm going to turn the car on so you can see. It started off about right here, and then the next day it was just spidered all the way, damn near half of the screen. So like I said again, I figured it was from the heat. And as you can see, can't touch it. The digitizer can't use nothing. So finally I'm gonna get this fixed. First time doing it, so y'all just bear with me. Try to get this figured out. I'm doing it by myself, so with the camera I'm gonna be pausing, trying to figure everything out, and then I'll come back. So first we're gonna start with this trim. Of course, it's all leading to the radio, so this would be a part that you would have to undo. I started with this cup holder. I kind of popped it, but it's still locked in. But I'm gonna open the armrest and just pull up. These, it's not screws, they're clamped in. So pop this up. There we go. Got that. As you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a slot. So these clips go inside, and then the top one slides in just like that. So that first part on the driver's side, do the same thing for the passenger side right here. It's stripped. I stuck my fingernails in there to pop it, and just raise up on it. Raise up and pull back. See that? Raise up, pull back. Raise up, pull back. So that's the first part that I got done. Now I'm gonna pause and figure out what the next step is. Right here you got some bolts. 7mm is what you need to unscrew those. I didn't have a 7, so I got a 932. So that's the first thing I'm gonna try, is to unscrew these bolts and to see where that takes me, because first impression that's holding everything in, and that's what I need to do to get it loose. So I'm gonna pause. Oh look, here we go, just messing with that. I got this loose. The whole center console part is loose, and it's being held by those bolts. So I'm gonna pause this, undo those bolts, and come back. Okay, I'm back again. Got this part figured out. Now, the cup holder right here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 clamps holding the cup holder in. What I had to do was grab it by the side, apply pressure. You can get rough with it, it's not gonna break. It's just those clips are hard to get out. So I had to apply pressure to get the cup holder to pop out. I got that to pop out. Now, I was trying to remove this. I removed those 2 screws. There's 2 screws holding this bottom part in. I removed those 2 screws, and the same thing, lift up on the back and it'll come. But to remove this, you're gonna have to open your secret compartment, turn the car on, put it in drive. That way, that gives this middle part some wiggle room. So you see, it's locked in right here. Now it's in drive. I can remove that. Can't remove it all the way, but it's out the way. That way I'll be able to pull the top piece out. So what I'm gonna do is pause once again and figure out this last piece where I can remove the screen and get this part done. Don't take your foot off the brake. Just leave it like that. I'll be right back. Okay, now you can go ahead and close that if you want to, because you're going to need it to pull, or you can open it back up, either way. Now this top piece, I guess the speaker part, like, how am I going to get that off? Well, right here under your screen there's a little lip. Again, I'm gonna sit this down and try to show y'all. Sorry, bad angle or whatever. Apply some pressure, and it'll pop. Just pull up. Again, it's no screws, it just have those clips. So there we go. That top part is off. As you can see, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clips. See, they clip in, and then that's your little bulb for your sensor. So just slide that to the back, and as you can see, there's 2 screws holding the top of the screen in. Gonna have to unscrew those. So what I'm gonna do is put the car back in park and unscrew those screws, and then I'll be back. So I taken out the 2 screws, which is a 7mm that I told you would need from the beginning of this video. Start the car up, redo everything, slide this middle console back, and if it's easier, you can open this up. If not, leave it like that. That way you'll have, it's easier for you to grip it. So you'll come from the top. As you can see, it's loose now. The screws, oh look, there's 2 more screws right here that I need to undo. Again, the screws are 7mm. Open this, it makes it easier to grip it, and here we go. Again, the screen is loose. There's 6 screws that hold it in. All 6 screws are loose. Clamps that hold it in, those are done, and we can remove the end dash. Now come to the back, and of course you have the electronic components that's holding the screen in, that's powering the screen. So what you're gonna do, detach those to the best of your ability. I'm trying to do this with one hand and with my foot on the brake, so bear with me. Let me try to put this in park and try this. Hold on. Okay, let's try this again. We're in park. I got the screen removed and it's sitting on the gear shifter. So what I'm gonna do is turn this as much as I can. The music will stop, and then try to disconnect these. You see there's 1, 2, 3 that you need to disconnect. So I'm going to hold this, there we go, and remove those connections. Just takes a little wiggle and you can get them disconnected. Just a little wiggle. Some of them may have a little clamp that you need to press down on to remove or lift. But you get the point. I'm going to disconnect these and come back. There we go, fully disconnected. Sorry about the delay. Fully disconnected. Couldn't do it with one hand. This first one was easy. Just press down right here in the back and it releases. This one I had to use 2 hands, one on the top, one on the bottom. This is like a USB, and it pulled out. And then this one was the same. It was a little hard, but had to double grip it, press down, and get it pulled out. But the screen is fully removed. There we go. Now I'm gonna go over to the pool table and try to disconnect this digitizer and get it hooked up. Again, I'm gonna be coming to you and pausing So right now what I'm about to do is take these screws off, which this is pretty much the bracket that holds the screen in place inside the car. So I'm gonna take these screws out and then I'll be back. Okay, so now I removed one side already. I'm doing the other side so you can see. I'm gonna flip this over. What I'm removing is this silver bracket. Like I said, that holds the screen in place inside the dash. It locks it in. So I'm gonna remove this last screw and take this side piece off so you can see. So there we go. That's the chrome piece on the side. There's 2 of those on both sides. That what was the 4 screws was holding on. Now that we got that apart, here's the part number, the GM. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 more screws that requires a Phillips screwdriver. So what I'm gonna do again, pause this, remove those screws, then come back and then we'll start back up again. All right, now I'm back. All the screws have been removed. One thing I want to point out, I forgot 2 screws. There were 2 in the front, so that makes 14 screws. Again, keep all your screws so you can put everything back where you got it from. For the most part, all the screws are the same size. The ones on the top are bigger. The ones on the bottom are smaller. So with all those screws removed, that should give us access to remove the cover. And there we go. Cover comes right off. Sit that to the side. Excuse my mess. This is usually where I work on my stuff. Sit that to the side. Now we need access to the digitizer. So again, if you can see, this is what we're trying to get access to change this front part. As you can see, we got screws again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then in the back 7, 8. Now those 2 screws at the bottom are low right here. So what we're gonna have to do is plug this up to power it and open this tray so it'll give us access to those screws. So before I do that, I'm just gonna remove the other screws and then I'll be back once I'm ready to give it power and get access to those other 2 screws. All right, I'm back in the car. Now I removed all those screws. The 1, 2, 3, 4. I still got 2 right here in the front to remove. Now when I said the little stash compartment, if you can see right here, it moves. So I'm guessing I have to plug this back up to get that to move to a different position. So I'll be able to get to those other bolts. I'm trying to position this camera so it can be seen. Oh, sorry about that. I'll edit all this, but here we go. We're gonna try. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this in, take this first one, power it up. As you can see, if you look on the side, the little motor, it opens. There we go, close it. Let me get this better. As you see on the side, once again, it has the motor right there. Here's your front part. Open it up. This piece right here that's sliding is what's stopping it right here from getting to those other screws. So you open it up and then that piece slides to the bottom. Now we're able to access the other screws. So what we're going to do now is just go ahead and disconnect it and then go back to the table and start messing with the screws. Now we're able to get access to the other screws that we need access to at the top. See them? All right, I'm back. I ran into an issue myself. Couldn't figure out what screws to take out, but again, screws is screws. Just put them back. So this part was like this. So all I had to do was unscrew these screws. There's a couple screws on the side that I unscrewed, and remove this little ribbon cable which plugs into right there, and then this bottom console part just pops off. And then once that pops off, remember we opened the little compartment. Once that pops off, it gives you access to that last and final screw. So get to that last screw, unscrew it, kind of lay your screen flat in your hand so it don't fall out and fall on the ground. You should have a towel or a microfiber somewhere around to avoid scratches. So undid that final screw, turn this around, and then it pops out. Now I'll show you this. I'm trying to do it and have it on the camera. If you look right there, there's a ribbon that's holding it. So before you remove that digitizer all the way, you need to disconnect that ribbon. Then you can start replacing it. This is my replacement. I got it on eBay, like 20 bucks. There were some for 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks. Only difference was they came with the tools, the separation tools, and I didn't even need those. I did everything by hand. So again, I purchased that on eBay. This is the old screen, the new screen. The new screen also comes with the ribbon cable. So again, I'm gonna pause this and get to work, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I removed the old digitizer. As you can see, crack. Don't know how, but yeah. And I partly installed the new one. When you're installing this new digitizer, it comes with a screen protector on the inside screen part, this piece. Try not to touch that, because if you get fingerprints on there, you're gonna see them and you're gonna have to take it all apart and redo it. As well as the screen, what I did was I used some glass cleaner and a microfiber to wipe it down so there wouldn't be no prints or anything on there. Now, right now, how you see it, it's flipped upside down. It's slid in. Right here, you see it has a lock, or a male or female, where it locks in place. And you need to make sure you get this little ribbon cable through the hole so you can install it right there to the side. So what I'm going to do now is install that ribbon cable, put all the screws back in, and then be back once I'm ready to install it inside the car. All right, all the screws have been replaced. As you can see, everything is on firmly. I'm trying to turn this firmly. We still have this open. Plastic still on the screen, which I'll probably leave on there. I don't know. I'm one of those type of people. But next step is to replace the side panels that locks it in place inside the car. So I'm gonna put those on. Then the next step is gonna be of me installing it back in the car. Well, I got the side chrome pieces put back on both sides. All you had to do was screw them in. Now, to test it out, see if everything worked, we would do everything in reverse. So we would start the car first of all, put it in drive, but keep your feet on the brake slide your middle console part back. Sorry, because that's where I was holding. I had my camera holding right there, so I had to move it. So check and see if it works first. So we will plug everything back just the way we got it. The power, the USB, which goes into the big clear part, and then the blue cord is the third plug. And of course, if you try to plug them in and they don't go, that means you have them in the wrong spot. Just make sure everything is put in tight, that way it will work. So let me take this out, show you. Here we go. The power, the USB is the bottom one, and then the third one. They're all plugged back in the original way that they came out. Now we'll put this back in the middle, and we're just gonna slide that screen in. FL. Let's do this again. Show you. Everything's plugged in the back. So this top piece look like a speaker holder. Move that. Slide that back, and then plug in your cords, of course. Grab your screen and just slide it in. You'll have to align your holes to get it to sit. Then once you get your holes aligned, start putting your screws in. Now you see at the top, the two, it's a latch, it just sits on. Now at the bottom, you're gonna have to slide this console part back to sit, to sit flush with the back piece, and then the console part comes in front. So you can go ahead and close this little compartment also. There you go. So you slide this out a little bit and kind of tilt the screen forward, angle it to go in the back, and then lay it flat, and then it'll latch in right here. So once you got that part done, go ahead and slide this console part. As you can see, it's a little pin. Slide that in, and then it'll line up with the screws. Again, you have to go under and then up to get that to go in like that. Once that's in, just go ahead and push down on the rest of it, and it should lock it in place. Everything's locked in place. Good. One thing too that I forgot to say, I mean, it's not that hard. You already have it all done. Before you screw everything back in, you want to just plug in the power to check and make sure that screen worked, that you hooked up the ribbon. You don't want to put it all back together, turn your car on, and then it don't power up because you didn't put that ribbon back. But again, that's how you change the digitizer glass on the 2013 ATS. Here's the old one. The new one is installed. I still have the plastic on there. I'm about to take it off after I put everything. Leave it on there for precaution, scratches and all that kind of stuff. But everything's done. Once you have that sitting in, put your 2 screws at the top, put your 2 screws at the bottom, and then you can put your 2 side panels on your passenger side and your driver's side back on. Put your cup holder and you're good to go. Your screen should be perfect. Put your little sensor back in, pop in with the clamps. Don't forget about the clamps. This top piece and the 2 side panels on the driver's side, passenger side, all clamp in, so make sure you clamp those. Don't break the clamps, don't be too rough. Again, 2013 Cadillac ATS, how to change the digitizer. I got my part off of eBay for like 20 bucks, $25. Came in 3 days. I didn't need any parts. Only parts I needed was Phillips screwdriver and a 7mm socket to take the screws out, 7mm, or a 932 to change those. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Oh, there's a problem. There's my problem. Now I have to take this apart. My centerpiece isn't closing, so now I have to take that apart and figure out what the problem is. Anyways, won't take me long. Update. So I finished it, everything, put it all together. My secret compartment wouldn't close. So here's the update, showing that I fixed it, that I got it to work. Open, closed. The problem was, and I was surprised, one of the screws were too tight. 2 of them on both sides that's by the motor, which is kind of weird, but the screws was too tight. I unloosened them, bagged them out, and then it opened and closed. I plugged it up and checked it, so everything's fine. But yeah, there's the touch screen working. Everything works fine, back to normal. I'm very satisfied now. So yeah, finally turn the AC on. Like, comment, subscribe. That's how to change the screen in the 2013 Cadillac ATS.